Bitcoin is 6, sharpening new clothes and kicks, throw some BTC in the mix. Welcome everybody to our live episode of Savage Cash. Here with me, Supoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency. In today's episode, I am going to suddenly bring to the fore a very important debate. Bitcoin investing versus altcoin investing. Okay, so this is a question I get asked a lot. If you watched my video yesterday, which is what is your cryptocurrency endgame, then, and obviously this happened at the end, so check it out if you haven't already. So, this is bringing to the fore a very important debate. Sats versus USD, which is basically Bitcoin price versus USD price. Which really matters? This is quite an important debate, and I am going to tell you what to do. Well, not tell you what to do. I guess I'm going to give advice, not financial advice, but my own personal advice on what to do and why to do it. Okay, so if you are excited to learn about which you should be doing, then essentially smash up the likes, give us a like spike, a massive like spike, if you're excited to know, and if you really want to know, what should you do? Okay, so this isn't financial advice. At the end of the day, any gains or losses that you should make are your own. Okay, so, you know, you don't have to thank me if you do really well. You don't have to have a go at me if you don't do very well. So smash up the likes, people. Smash up the likes. So, yesterday was very much a different type of video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like this type of video? Or do you prefer these types of videos where you've got my face? Sometimes you've got a little bit of a dark background. It gets dark early in the UK. That's why it happens. So just let me know in the comments what you think. So today we are seeing a very, very positive outlook for everything. Okay, we are seeing green galore. We have seen the market cap now smash it back to around about $350 billion, which is where, you know, the market was before it corrected the other day. It's now come back. Okay, and what we can see here is that the Bitcoin continues to absolutely thrive, now on its way to $12,000. The weekend has not diminished the investments going into cryptocurrency. So that's a great thing. Okay, normally we see it being a bit of a ghost town, but no. Actually, it's become a very, very, you know, very vibrant time for investing and for short-term trading. So Bitcoin is back to its former glory. And we are seeing a lot of the alts looking pretty spectacular today. Dash is nearly $800. Ethereum's nearly $300. Ripple's about 26 cents. Litecoin is over $300. IOTA is really smashing it, nearly $2 now. Cardano is still staying very healthy. Monero, which was under $100 literally a couple of months ago, now over $200. Ethereum Classic, $30. Yeah. Everything is pretty much looking really, really healthy. So, in terms of investing, you've got two types of investing going on. You've got Bitcoin investing, which is really investing in just this one. And then you've got altcoin investing, which is in everything else. So, altcoins, if you didn't already know, altcoins are basically everything but Bitcoin. Even Ethereum is an altcoin, okay? So, you are, in essence, choosing to invest in either Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, I've already told you that about 30% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, and I like having, you know, my Bitcoin portfolio. I like strengthening that portfolio, but I also like getting rich in altcoins as well, okay? And I was telling you about exit strategy. I was telling you about kind of your end game in cryptocurrency, because you can either be rich in Bitcoin, which is sats, or rich in fiat, which is dollars, or you can be a bit of both at the same time. And being a bit of both is like hedging, I suppose. Hedging for what's going to happen in the future. And as I've said already, in my personal opinion, I think that Bitcoin is going to overtake normal currency. Okay, but that is not set in stone. I am not Mystic Mike. I don't know for sure if that is going to happen. That is just a premonition and a prognosis, I suppose, of what I believe is going to happen. So, let me now prove my point, okay? So, what is better, altcoin investing or Bitcoin investing? So, Bitcoin has just continued to absolutely surge. It moves basically a lot faster than the altcoins, and that can be reflected in the price, okay? So, what we've got is we've got two main methods of charting price, okay, dependent on what your goal is. If you're a Bitcoin investor, really what you like to see is this, okay? So, you know, if your alt goes up, so does the amount you can exchange it into Bitcoin, okay? So the alt's going up and the Bitcoin price, and therefore strengthening your position in Bitcoin price, that is a good thing. The opposite is what's happening right now. So even though Litecoin, which today is over $100, doing incredibly well, Bitcoin today is actually worth less now at $100 than it was over here when it was $7. Okay, so think about it, all right? If you bought in at $7 here, right now you would have over a 10 times multiplier, well over 10 times, what's that, about 13 times multiplier on your fiat. Okay, so depending on how much you put in, that would now be times 13 in fiat. But in Bitcoin, you've actually lost a hell of a lot of money. You've actually lost a hell of a big position in converting to Bitcoin. So if you wanted to strengthen your position in Bitcoin, the price today is not good. Okay, so if we just go back to here, this is all the way back in July, okay, when Litecoin was really, July 2015, okay, when Litecoin was really cheap. So Litecoin at that time was $7.76. Like if we go even down to here, it was $3.77. But let's use this as an example. So $7.76, this actually equates to 0.02 of a Bitcoin. Okay, so with the $7 it was then, you could have got 0.02 of a Bitcoin. Now, even though it's at $103, it's 0.008 of a Bitcoin. So you have lost a significant amount in Bitcoin conversion. So if you were a buy and hold in Litecoin, this was a great thing if you want to be rich in fiat, not a great thing if you want to be richer in Bitcoin. Now let's have a look at Ethereum as well. So Ethereum has really exploded this year. So Ethereum previously, back in June, was at $371. That was the equivalent of 0.1 of a Bitcoin, 0.14 of a Bitcoin, so a lot more than 0.1 of a Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has been growing so super fast that even though today, you know, Ethereum is over $100 more, Bitcoin has gone down by 3 times. Okay, so up here you could get, you know, 1/5 of a Bitcoin if you converted it at this time. If you converted the $377 worth of Ethereum into Bitcoin, 0.15 of a Bitcoin. Now, if you converted it back into Bitcoin, you'd get 0.04. So that has lost 3 times its Bitcoin conversion rate has lost 3 times its value. Even though you are richer in alts, richer in fiat, you are actually poorer in Bitcoin. The same can be said for Dash. Okay, so back when, you know, Jerry Banfield sold it, which was about this point, I can't remember when it was actually, but it was about May time, wasn't it? He sold it for about $85. At that time, converting it into Bitcoin, every Dash that he had was worth 0.04 of a Bitcoin, right? Now today, even though it's gone up 10 times, nearly 10 times since that amount, it's actually 0.06, okay? So even though, you know, it has gone up by 10 times in Bitcoin price, it's gone 10 times in USD price, you can get 0.04 back then, and only let's have a look. Only 2 cents more, even though it's gone 10 times up in price in USD, it's only gone up 0.02 up in Bitcoin. So actually, you're poorer in Bitcoin. Well, just a little bit richer in Bitcoin. Same could be said for Stratis. Back when it exploded, back in June when I got it, well, I got it in May, this was 0.004 of a Bitcoin. Okay, if you sold it at this price, every Stratis would be 0.004 of a Bitcoin. Now, even though it's gone up to nearly, you know, it's at 60%, 63% of the price back then, it's now 0.0005. Okay, so it has lost 10 times its Sats value. All right, so that is basically explaining the two positions, okay? So you can be rich. You are, well, not necessarily with Stratis, but with the likes of Dash, Ethereum, Litecoin, which have exploded in the last few months, what you actually are is so although you may be richer in alts, richer in fiat as a result, because we're going by the dollar value here, if you go to BTC or SAT value, you are poorer in a lot of these occasions, sometimes a lot poorer, which is very, very weird, but it all depends on what your strategy is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to present the reasons why you may want to invest in alts or why you may want to invest in Bitcoin. Okay, so two options. So option one, get fiat rich. So if you know, at the moment, everything is in fiat, okay? If you want to buy a house, it's fiat. Buy a car, it's in fiat. If you want to buy most things in life, it's in fiat. And even if you have a 10x card and you are buying something with your Bitcoin, it's exchanging to fiat. So at the moment, it's the fiat that has the power. The power is in fiat right now. So there's two options. This is in, so anyway, so there's two options. You get fiat rich, which means you invest in altcoins and you basically get rich off the multipliers. So if you invest, let's say in Ethos, when I invested in Ethos, it was at 0.5 of a dollar. Now it's worth well over, it's about $1.50. So it's gone way up in price. So I've made a hell of a lot of money in multipliers. I've become fiat rich with just Ethos, okay? So if you want to be fiat rich, then you go into altcoins and you make money off the altcoin multipliers. You can also hope that Bitcoin stabilizes and altcoins catch up. So if it stayed at $11,000 and altcoins suddenly rose significantly, then the BTC price would start catching up. It would get higher and higher and higher. If BTC continues to thrive, which at the moment it's just continuing to, and at a faster rate than altcoins, then you are going to lose money if you are wanting to increase your Bitcoin position. So you've got to kind of hope that Bitcoin stabilizes at a certain price, maybe stays at a certain price, and hope that alts catch up, okay? In which case, if you wanted to strengthen your position in Bitcoin, then this would be a good strategy. So you can hedge, basically. You can have your altcoins be fiat rich and also be Bitcoin rich, kind of like what I am at the moment. And then just improve your Bitcoin position when a coin dies. Okay, so let's just look at Sia Coin or Digibyte or something like that. Okay, so or even Neo. Okay, so Neo hasn't died, but it was really, really thriving a couple of months ago, or 3 months ago, before the China crap started happening. So if you sold at the peak right then, when Bitcoin was down, then you could have sold your Neo and got in a really strong position. If you had, let's say, 10,000 Neo coins, bought it at cents when it was Ant shares and sold at the peak, you could have got an incredible position on Bitcoin. Okay, so improving your Bitcoin position when a coin dies. A lot of coins at the moment tend to be dying quite quickly. A couple of weeks ago, you had, or literally a couple of months ago, you had Chainlink, which was really thriving. You had, what else? What else was really thriving a couple of months ago? Well, Walton is thriving again, but Walton was really thriving a couple of months ago. And then that is the time to capitalize. The demand was there. Everybody was was hyping about it. You sell it when it's at its peak. And while Bitcoin isn't too high, you sell it at its peak, you improve your position in Bitcoin. So when a coin has been massively hyped, loads of people are talking about it, but it's not a long term, it's not likely to be long term, then sell at the peak, strengthen your position in Bitcoin. Okay, so these are the different things that you can do to stay fiat rich, but also hedge your bets with Bitcoin. So why would you want to do this? Well, because let's say that in your lifetime, in our lifetime, even if Bitcoin does get adopted, even if it does replace currency or is an addition to currency, this will happen, in my opinion, but it may not happen in our lifetime. It may happen it could happen in 10 years, could happen in 50 years. Who knows? Okay, it all depends really on what happens when cryptocurrency and real world converge and, and it becomes a big thing. But fiat may continue for the rest of your lifetime, in which case, by being rich in fiat, that's a retirement fund. Okay, lots of people right now, they've got a retirement fund in fiat currency. Whether it's 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, all depends really on how rich you are, what you've been doing, how wise you've been with investing. Fiat can cover your retirement fund. Let's now go to option 2, which is what's the alternative? This is Bitcoin investing. So keep buying Bitcoin incrementally. Okay, so a lot of people now are quite intimidated, newbies coming into the market, quite intimidated when they look at Bitcoin. It's $11,000 right now. Okay, so at the moment, really, for a lot of people entering the market, they can just buy it incrementally. $100 here, next month $100, another $100, $100, and just keep on improving your position in Bitcoin and ultimately be Bitcoin rich. Okay, so that is an alternatively, you can sell your alts. That's the next one. Today, if you want to be Bitcoin rich, sell your alts, buy Bitcoin and hold the Bitcoin. Okay, because if Bitcoin continues to grow at a much faster rate than altcoins, if your ultimate plan is to be rich in Bitcoins, then you want to consider selling some altcoins, looking at them properly and thinking, has this got much of a future? Is this likely to grow at the same rate as Bitcoin? And if not, then you may want to just cut and run and go into Bitcoin. Okay, so you can sell your alts for Bitcoin and hold. And Bitcoin really is looking like the key one. Okay, if we're looking at currency being replaced by another currency, then it's likely Bitcoin will be the one. It won't be Litecoin, it won't be Vertcoin, it won't be Groestal Coin, it won't be Digibyte, it won't be one of the Bitcoin clones, it will be Bitcoin itself. Okay, so if it's likely to be worldwide adopted, it's not going to be Bitcoin Cash. So Roger Ver may as well just get it out of his head, and all the B cashers out there, so may as well get it out of your head. Okay, because it's going to be Bitcoin either way, and how it gets improved, well, that's to be decided in the future. But if anything's going to replace, it'll be Bitcoin. And then stop trading in alts. Get out of the game altogether and just concentrate on Bitcoin. Just keep buying Bitcoin, because the likelihood is that if you are, if you're wanting to just be a Bitcoin millionaire or be Bitcoin rich, then it's better to just buy Bitcoins, because Bitcoin is growing at the moment at a faster rate than altcoins. Okay, and until altcoins catch up, which I imagine they will do, because at the moment alts are really considered the technological, they're considered like the technological improvements in the cryptocurrency arena. Bitcoin's the currency, and the altcoins like Substratum, like Ethos, like Steam, these are platforms that are strengthening cryptocurrency. This is just like the cryptocurrency ecosystem where people can buy cryptocurrencies in the future, get it without even having to trade or invest in cryptocurrencies. So alts are basically the platform, but the currency is Bitcoin. So if you really just want to be Bitcoin rich and have a retirement fund in just Bitcoin, then you may want to just consider forgetting about altcoins. You may also want to just consider about trading. So there may be a load of people right now that trade in alts hoping to increase their position in Bitcoin, but are not successful. A lot of people that do trading are not successful in general, in the whole. A lot of them have good days, but then they have bad days which counterbalance it. So you may want to just forget about the trading and just go into Bitcoin and just keep strengthening your position. Why would you want to do that? Because if BTC takes over, then if we're talking about a few years' time when one Bitcoin could be worth $1 million, it may not be in 3 years when John McAfee thinks it will be, but it could be literally in, 5 years, 10 years, 1 million per Bitcoin, then 0.1 of a Bitcoin, over the course of the next 5 to 10 years and further, 0.1 of a Bitcoin could be enough to retire on. Okay, so you may be getting really rich right now in altcoins, but it may not but it all is relative to you. How rich are you actually getting? Is it kind of 6-figure rich? Is it 5-figure rich? In which case, actually 0.1 of a Bitcoin will be 6 figures, in 5 or more years. In which case, if you just strengthen your position in Bitcoin, you may not need to do any of the unnecessary altcoin investing and getting the multipliers, when actually, because Bitcoin is growing at such a rate, 0.1 of a Bitcoin could be enough to basically have enough for you for the rest of your life. Now, this is really if it's a Bitcoin takeover of currency, which many predict will happen. And we can see it now seeping through. A lot has happened in 6 months. In 6 months, there has been a cataclysmic change in cryptocurrency. Okay, 6 months ago, many people didn't know about it. Now tons of people know about it. And over the course of the next few years, even more and more and more people are going to get into cryptocurrency, investing in Bitcoin, and investment banks are going to be going in it. Governments are going to realize they can't stop it, and it's likely that this could give people the financial freedom that cash doesn't, fiat cash does not. At the end of the day, like I was saying yesterday, you know, with fiat money, if you cash out your Bitcoin right now, today, into fiat, your fiat stays relatively stable. It stays pretty much static. It doesn't really move. Whereas in Bitcoin, it's always increasing, always moving. In which case, it makes sense to just keep your money in Bitcoin because it just keeps on going up and up. And in altcoins, because they keep on going up and up. And even if they go down, they do go up eventually. Look at Walton. Went from $8 to $4, now to $10. Okay, so it just goes to show that cryptocurrency is likely to be the adopted currency worldwide for a lot of people. So those are the two options: Bitcoin rich, altcoin rich, aka fiat rich. Okay, and as you can see from, you know, the charts that I showed you, being fiat rich does not equate to being Bitcoin rich. Okay, so there are two main strategies. What is the option you want? Option 1, altcoin rich, fiat rich. Number 2, Bitcoin rich, and definitely rich if and when, should I say, likely to be when Bitcoin takes over as a buying cryptocurrency. So we're live, guys. So smash in the comments, which one is it? Is it option 1 to you, or is it option 2 to you? Let me know what your true feelings are on this situation, because it is very, very topical right now. So let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. Also, smash up the likes, people. Smash up the likes. Let's see. Option 1 or option 2. So 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 50-50, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Right, okay. So it seems to be probably 60% ones and 40% twos. Okay, so essentially saying that, you know, it's better to be fiat rich and altcoin rich than Bitcoin rich if Bitcoin then takes over as a currency. 1 and 2. Happy birthday, Superman. Thank you for the end of this month, because I will be another year older. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There's a big mix. I would say it's definitely, if it's not 60, 65% 1 and 35% 2. Okay, so, but those are the two different ways to do it. Now, personally speaking, I am doing both. Personally, I like to have the fiat because if it doesn't happen, either way, Bitcoin translates to fiat really nicely. If the situation ever arises that I really want to buy something of high value, then fiat is really the method of payment right now, and is certainly continuing to be until something happens. And cashing out in either Bitcoin or altcoins is both advantageous. Hence why I'm hedging the both. So I've got 30% Bitcoin and 70% altcoins. However, I would say that if we're talking about cryptocurrency endgame, I would be looking to incrementally move the alt into Bitcoin. So I am converting to Bitcoin rather than converting to fiat, because it kind of allows for a bit of both, a best of both, I suppose, because it's giving me the ability to grow both ways, which is kind of more exponential growth for me. But these are the two alternatives based on where you see your exit game, where you see your end game for cryptocurrency. And it's not to say that fiat will be completely overtaken. I mean, at the moment you can pay if you are using fiat currency, you can pay with cash, you can pay with debit card, you can pay with Apple Pay, okay, or other kind of wallets like Apple Pay. So it's not as if Bitcoin's going to take it all over. All of a sudden, cash is no longer used, debit cards no longer used, Apple Pay no longer used. You know, it's not to say it will completely replace, but what it's saying is that it will be a method of payment that's accepted, and maybe over the course of decades or centuries, it will overtake completely. Because back in the day, we used to trade with gold bars, we used to trade with normal everyday items, and then banknotes came out, and then credit cards came out, and what have you. Okay, so currency evolves over time, and digital currency looks like the next step to currency evolution. All right, but either way, you can strengthen your position whether you're hedging alts and Bitcoin, or just Bitcoin, or just alts. At the end of the day, you should be fine in this lifetime because fiat, I think, is always going to be kind of used. But when Bitcoin is accepted as a method of payment, you won't ever need to cash out from Bitcoin to fiat, which means that you can just keep whatever you have in Bitcoin, and 0.1 of a Bitcoin could be easily enough to take you through till the end of your life. So either way is good. Either way is good. But, you know, I'm not making any... You know, I'm not saying this is or is not going to happen. I'm not saying you must or must not do this. At the end of the day, it's all down to you. So this is the key thing. So guys, smash up the likes if you enjoyed this, because a lot of people have been asking me, Sats versus USD, which is the better place to invest your money in? Well, now you kind of know that there are two ways to look at cryptocurrency. There isn't one or other. Okay, there are two ways. You can either be altcoin rich, in which case dollar value does mean a lot. If something goes up times 10, it does count. But at the same time, Bitcoin is also a lot of the whales' end game. And a lot of them just want to be rich in Bitcoin and nothing else. And they just want to have... I know a lot of whales who have kind of 100 to 5,000 Bitcoins. Okay, so I know a lot of people that are very, very rich in Bitcoin and are keeping that position and are not going to be selling. And they're just going to be keeping it, and they're going to hope for the evolution where currency becomes you can buy things with Bitcoin. So, all good, all good. I'll take a couple of questions, and then I've got to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Keep smashing the likes, peeps. Keep smashing the likes. What about buying a masternode, getting passive money? Well, at the end of the day, that all increases to your fiat and being fiat rich in altcoins, okay? So by having masternodes, if you look at it in the equivalent of dividend companies, there's lots of banks, there's lots of companies that offer dividends. If you have a certain amount with them, they pay you a dividend every year or every quarter, or depends. A masternode is very, very similar. You've just got to look at it. This is the cryptocurrency version, but if we're looking at alts as a method of being fiat rich, then essentially having a masternode is just like having shares in a company that pays you dividends on a yearly or monthly or annual or on a quarterly basis. So masternodes are very, very good to just keep on strengthening your position in altcoins and therefore fiat. Very thought-provoking questions here. Let me just get rid of some spastic in my channel. Bitcoin will be the international currency. I think that's a good point because Bitcoin translates globally. Okay, so you know, dollars doesn't, euros doesn't, pounds doesn't, whatever currency, rupees doesn't. You know, so there's, you know, so Bitcoin is an international currency. That's another reason why it really helps to be Bitcoin rich. Thank you, Aussie Crypto. I appreciate that. You are rich. Okay. Is Ethos a BTC multiplier? Well, if you think about it, Ethos is not growing at the same rate as Bitcoin. So if you bought in early, you know, if you were... Let's say you put 10,000 in early. That 10,000 will now be worth 200. No, it'd be worth about 150,000. So let's face it, you can buy more Bitcoin with 150,000 than you can with 100,000, which was a few months ago. So it all, as long as the multiplication makes it more favourable than to invest in the cryptocurrency in the past, then it strengthens your Bitcoin position. Yes, it all depends on the BTC price now compared to what it was, and how many you had in comparison to what it was. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. 62,000 subscribers. I'm very happy about that. Talk about MyNextCoin. MyNextCoin is something that has grown because of its supply. And, you know, and it allows it to grow because there's constant, it's getting constant speculative investment. AdaCoin I've already spoken about. I think the technology behind AdaCoin is amazing. The amount of coins in Cardano is the opposite. It's less than impressive. If they burn the tokens, great. If they don't burn the tokens, well, the technology is enough to allow it to grow anyway. It will grow incrementally. It just won't grow at a fast rate. So if we're looking at the $5 to $10 I'm predicting for it, that will happen on a token burn. It's unlikely to happen next year without a token burn. Simple as that. Okay, guys, I think that is it. Thank you very much. Have you heard of ClearPoll? Yes, I have heard of ClearPoll. Although I think that it's better to get into Quarito if you haven't already, because Quarito is very similar, because that's going to be polls, stroke kind of crowdsourced questions. So Quarito is something I would consider investing in if you haven't already. So yeah, there we are. It's currently at pre-ICO stage, so I think it's 5 cents. 5 cents a token. You need to log in and you need to invest that way. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you being here with me on another episode of Savage Cash. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are, so do let me know. If you haven't checked out my video yesterday, it was such a good video. Check it out. Especially if you like London porn, it's great. So, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Cryptocurrency is looking quite spectacular. So, I shall see you anon. It's lights out, all out, peeps. So, I will see you again tomorrow.